Hi friends, told you I was going to come back tonight, and we're going to talk about pre-diabetes, because there's so many people out there that are pre-diabetic, and they don't even know it. There's about 88 million, oh my gosh, that's a lot, pre-diabetic people in the U.S. 88 million, that is like a lot of people. And you know, the biggest thing is about 1 in 3 people are pre-diabetic, 1 in 3. And I used to say about half of those people weren't aware that they were pre-diabetic, but it's about 84%. 84% of people that are pre-diabetic are not aware of it. I was probably pre-diabetic when I look back at my symptoms for maybe 10 years or so. That's pretty bad, you know, 10 years or so being pre-diabetic. So in the comments, after I'm done, I'm going to put down the CDC link it tells you more about pre-diabetic. But I wanted to go into some of the signs and symptoms that you might be a pre-diabetic. And I forgot to bring my glucometer. I was going to bring that over here and show you, how some tips on being able to check your glucose and when to check your glucose and how you can find out whether you might be pre-diabetic. But here's some of the signs and symptoms. If you have excessive belly fat. So you look down, you can't see your feet, or you got this belly fat that doesn't seem to go away. The arms and legs, they look fine, but there's got this belly fat that just doesn't go away. Might be a pre-diabetic. Might also have some liver congestion. Sorry, that's just kind of some of the things that come along with it. I wrote these down so you see me looking down here. You've plateaued on your weight loss. You just can't get the rest off. Might be a pre-diabetic. Carbs. You've tried to reduce your carbs, but you continue to have cravings for carbohydrates. You might be a pre-diabetic. You crave lots of excessive sugar, excessive carbohydrate, especially if you're really stressed. You might be a pre-diabetic. A lot of brain fog. Just, can't process, just like, where am I at? I went in this room, what for? Let's a lot of brain fog. Might be a pre-diabetic. Also, if you need a nap after you've eaten, oh, that was my biggest thing. I always wanted to take a nap. And then it got to the point that I was just always tired. Might be a pre-diabetic. Your eyesight, seems to be getting worse. And then it seems to be worse over certain parts of the day, or if you know that you're tired too and your eyesight seems to be bad, you might be a pre-diabetic. Might be just a diabetic too, this is a big one. You're not satisfied after you've eaten a meal, especially in the evening. Not satisfied, and that's what I'm going to talk to you, give you some tips on that one. But you're not satisfied after you've eaten your meal. You think you ate a balanced meal, you watched everything, but you're just not satisfied. There's a reason for that. But you might be a pre-diabetic. Some of the things that are obvious that we know about: excessive urination, excessive thirst, excessive tiredness. Those are kind of all the signs that when you talk to a doctor, that's some of the things that they ask you. They don't ask you about these other things. And if you have your belly starts swelling more as the day progresses, you might be a pre-diabetic. The urination, especially in the middle of the night, you getting up excessively in the middle of the night. Not a man. We're not talking about prostate. We're talking about women and men too. But you just seem like you get up a lot. Oh my gosh, I've always got up a lot in the middle of the night, years. And it has decreased considerably. But if that's one of the things that you have issues with, might be a pre-diabetic. And one of the things I always say, I can spot a pre-diabetic just by kind of looking at them too anymore. But they're always carrying around a big gulp. They're always carrying around a big drink. They always have to have something with them. I remember I even bought those little waters that I would carry in my purse. I always had something. Never was out with anywhere without water. So, some of the signs of pre-diabetic. So some of the things, let's just talk about, I'm just going to give you one tip. I'm going to give you a couple tips, but one of the things that, that not being able to get filled up in the evening, you feel like you ate a big meal and you're just not full. So one of the things I want to talk to you about, first off, this is kind of the offset here, but salts. If you're using salts, get away from the regular table salt, get away from the iodine salt. You need to go to a Himalayan. There's a Himalayan pink and a Himalayan black. You can buy the pink, I know, at Walmart, but if you find the black, that's more pure. So it's from the Himalayan mountains, and so the pink is very good. And why is that? You always thought that sea salt was everything. Everything's got sea salt on anymore, and they cite that as being something healthy for you. Sea salt obviously comes from the sea, but it also has micro particles of plastics in them anymore, because where does a lot of our dumping go? In the ocean. That's so sad. But so it's got a lot of micro plastics. And we're getting enough plastics these days. So you want to, because you're always carrying around your big gulps, big water, go to some glass containers. This is stainless steel. Go to something else and, you know, carry your water around in that, drink your water through the day, get your containers back and forth, back and forth. Just get out of plastics. Make that kind of a summer goal, get out of plastics. Because what happens to those plastics as they get to the store, sometimes depending on if the truck isn't refrigerated, that plastic might heat up and actually leak in. Go to BPA plastic free. But anyway, let's get back to talking about why do I not get filled up and I've eaten a big meal. So you've eaten your meal, and so many people, we're working on weight loss and calories reduction and things like that. But you got to get into your protein, and whatever source you're using, you got to get in your fats, your good fats, not your omega-3s that they, omega-6, excuse me, that they fry the French fries in. Omega-3s, you know, you kind of got to have a balance of, pretty well we'll get enough omega-6s, so we can pretty well say that. But we don't get enough omega-3s. So what are some omega-3s? An avocado. Butter, real butter. If you're using margarine, get away from it. Go to real butter. This is go to grass-fed butter. This says organic. I think might even bought these at Aldi's. Grass-fed organic butter. Got to use butter. And the other thing you can use as far as getting some more fat in is almonds. Yep. And then, you know, have on the side of your plate, you know, always have some beans. You're going to get a little fiber in there. You're going to get some extra protein into like that. So that's going to help you with that. Peanut butter is another great source of getting in some extra protein. So what do? So you have your meal. You've had your good amount of vegetables, your good amount of protein, and smaller starchy carbs, whether it be some rice. There's some rices that have a higher lower glycemic index. They're not going to turn into carbohydrates. The carbohydrates are going to turn into sugar as fast. So you can do different types of pasta and stuff like that. Vegetable pasta. What's the other one I'm thinking of? Vegetables. Just some different things like that. So anyway, so whatever your carbohydrate, small amount of that. But you want to add some extra omega-3s at the end, fats. Fats do not make fat. Now, if you eat a lot of avocado, you eat a lot of butter, you know, that's going to be too much carbohydrates and too much fat. It's going to turn, eventually everything turns into sugar. But, you know, we want it to do a slow process. We want to absorb, we want to do a slow process if we're going to release insulin, but we want to burn fat. So eating fat will actually burn fat. But eating carbohydrates will make you fat. So at the end of your meal, you can have like a half an avocado. Store the rest for the next day or the next lunch or something like that. Put some butter on your, let's say we're having some rice. Put some butter on it. So that would be a good thing. You could eat a teaspoonful of peanut butter after your meal. Eat a small palmful of almonds, because I think it says 24 nuts is a serving, so that's 160 calories. You can cut that in half and only have 12. So that's a way to get in some more fat at the end of the day, so you're not going back in the kitchen trying to find something else to make you have that full feeling before you sit down and watch some TV for a while, or, you know, whatever you're gonna do. So I really like the idea, and I hadn't thought about this, was just putting a serving of, and you don't need a whole serving, just and you can use this like throughout the week. You just have some extra beans on your plate. That's a good source of prebiotic fibers, and just fiber in general. Got a little protein in there, a little bit of carbohydrates. But think about what you're putting on your plate. So that's what I wanted to come on and say. Pre-diabetic, where there's a lot of people out there. I'll put the link from the CDC. It talks about pre-diabetic. And I got a math problem for you. Okay, ready? Here we go. You might want to write this down. Bob has 36 candy bars. Bob eats 29 candy bars. What does Bob have now? Bob has diabetes. That's what Bob has now. Okay, so it was really just kind of a little joke I saw. Thought it was pretty cute. So anyway, get some fats in at the end of the day, omega-6s. I started doing that. I ended up shedding a few more pounds and just feel better. My blood sugar's better under control. Once you're diabetic, pre-diabetic, you just got to watch it. So I'm going to come back sometime and I want to talk to you about glucometers and how to buy a glucometer, decide if you're a pre-diabetic, and when to check your blood sugars. I've done that once before, but we'll come back and do that later on this week. So have an awesome rest of your evening. Good night.